I will be teaching you the chapter on volcanoes, which is chapter number 7 in your textbook on page number 55. You will see in your book on page number 55, on the left hand side is written syllabus. So we will stick to this syllabus, and I'm uploading these few pages so that as I'm teaching, you'll follow it. And those who don't have the book, you can write down or note down some important points as I tell you. So let's get started with the lesson. The forces relating to or arising from the interior of the earth are called endogenic forces. Now these are the forces which occur under the surface of the earth. And these are two types of endogenic forces: diastropic and sudden movements. These sudden movements bring about immediate change on the surface of the earth, and hence they get their name. Now the next thing is the causes of volcanic eruption, and in this paragraph you underline the definition of volcano. Just underline it. A volcano is a vent. Vent means a gap in the earth's crust from which fiery hot magma erupts from the interior's earth. That is the hot molten material which is thrown out from the earth's crust. The main causes of volcanic eruptions are, and first they've given you heat and pressure inside the earth. Now we know as we go higher up, the temperature goes on decreasing. But as we go under the surface of the earth, the temperature goes on increasing. So temperature and pressure both increase from the surface towards the center of the earth. Rocks are bad conductors of heat. So the earth's heat does not escape on its own. Instead, it melts the rocks and builds up great pressure. The pressure forces the heat to find an escape through fissures and cracks in the rock. So as temperature and pressure increase as one moves towards the center, all these rocks turn into a molten state, and due to great pressure, they are forced to come up on the surface of the earth through fissures and cracks. So this is the first point which you have to remember. The second is plate tectonics. Most volcanic eruptions take place near plate margins. The earth's crust is made up of a series of movable plates. When these plates slide past each other or collide against each other due to intense heat inside the earth's core, their edges produce faults along the line of weakness. It is along these plate boundaries that the crust is weakened and through which the hot magma gushes out, leading to volcanic eruption. Now there are various plate tectonics on the surface of the earth. For example, Australian plate tectonic, American plate tectonic, Asian plate tectonic. Now these plates are joined with each other and they move against each other. And when they move against each other, wherever the crust of the earth is very weak, earthquakes occur and followed by volcanic eruption. This is another very important point you have to learn. The third one is magma chamber. Now magma is the molten material which is found under the earth's crust, and it is formed due to all these weak rocks, and they melt down and they create a huge chamber. Fresh magma continues to pour inside the chamber. Since magma contains silicate material, gases and water vapors, the pressures act vertically upwards. Once a route is found, it rises to the surface. That is why many volcanoes are found along plate boundaries. So you just underline the few lines which is given here. Once a route is found till plate boundaries. Now we come to the products of a volcano. Now children, you should remember that you have to learn the definition of a volcano and the causes which cause volcanic eruptions. Now we come to the products of a volcano. Products means what are the things which are ejected or erupted out of the volcano or thrown out of the volcano when a volcano erupts. The first thing they've given you magma and lava. Now you should understand the difference between magma and lava. The molten rock material inside the earth is known as magma. And when this magma from the interior of the earth is thrown out on the surface of the earth, it is known as lava. Besides magma and lava, they have mentioned steam, which is another most important and abundant gas that comes out of a volcano. When steam is ejected in huge quantities, it forms clouds in the atmosphere and results in rainfall. The next thing which is ejected from the volcanoes are gases, which include hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen. The next important product of a volcano is solid material. This is in the form of rocks or fine particles. The solid fragments are rock pieces which are known as pyroclasts, or the fine particles which are called dust, and the size goes on increasing or decreasing. Now we come to the structure of a volcano. The very hot material that the volcano pours out creates, both inside the earth and on the surface, structures typical of a particular type of eruption. The eruption may take place quietly or violently. And the first thing that they've mentioned over here is vent. Now you will see that diagram which is given in the text, and I have circled the word vent in the diagram, and the arrow will show you in the diagram to make you understand clearly what exactly a vent is. So I'll read the definition and you follow it in the diagram. The lava flows out through an opening in the earth's crust called vent. So it's an opening, narrow opening, which connects the interior of the earth to the exterior. The opening is usually like a circular pipe. There may be only one opening at the summit. Summit means on the top. However, some other smaller vents are also formed when there are repeated eruption. The second thing they have mentioned is a volcanic cone. Normally we represent volcano in the form of a small mountain or a cone. And the figure is showing you the diagram of a volcano. The erupted fluid material, being hot, collects around the vent and begins to cool gradually and solidifies. So this magma, which is thrown out in the form of lava, when it comes out of the volcano, it starts collecting around the vent, and slowly and gradually, layer after layer, they get deposited, and then they get cooled and solidify, and then they form a dome-like shape. The accumulation of material around the vent gives to the volcano its typical cone-like shape known as the volcanic cone. Now, the next heading which they've given you is the types of volcanoes. On the basis of frequency of the eruption, volcanoes are classified into three main types: active, dormant, and extinct. Now, active volcanoes, as the name suggests, are very active volcanoes. They keep erupting from time to time, and they are very destructive in nature. These are the volcanoes which are presently in active state and have erupted in the recent past. At present, there are about 500 known active volcanoes which can erupt at any time. And they've given you some examples here: Mount Stromboli and Mount Etna in Italy. They have got a volcano in Philippines and Mauna Loa in Hawaii. Then we come to dormant volcanoes. Now these are the volcanoes which have erupted in the past, and they have all possibility of erupting again anytime. So they are called sleeping volcanoes. These volcanoes have not erupted in recent historical period. They are regarded as sleeping volcanoes and may become active at any time. And they've given you some examples here: Mount Kilimanjaro of Africa, Mount Vesuvius, and some volcanoes in Philippines and Japan. So you keep learning two examples from each type of volcanoes. And the third one is the extinct volcano, which we say is the dead volcano. These are the types which have not erupted in the present geological period and are not likely to become active again. So that is why they are called dead volcano. And they've given you two examples here, Mount Aconcagua in South America and Mount Kenya in Africa. And these are some examples of these type of volcanoes. Now children, I'll post the 3 types of volcanoes, the picture of them, for you to get a clear idea about them. Picture of an active volcano. This is the picture of the dormant volcano. And this is the picture of extinct volcano. And children, you will see in the text that I have underlined certain important points. Please go through them, learn them and revise them. It will help you to understand the lesson better. I will continue this lesson again in my next video. Thank you.